What is up, YouTube? Welcome to my channel and welcome to my first ever video. My name is Nodak. I'm gonna do, I guess, a little bit of a brief explanation of who I am and the content that I plan on creating, and then we'll get straight into the video. So, yeah, I've been playing War Thunder for about 5 or 6 years now. Very recently, I decided, hey, what the heck? Let's try making some content for it. My goal and my primary focus is going to be air RB combat. However, I could see myself doing some ground stuff or maybe even some naval. Who knows? I guess it kind of depends on what people want to see and what people like. So my focus is going to be purely informative. I want to make tips and tricks videos, vehicle showcases, everything like that. Maybe a little bit more so focused toward newer players or, sub, like, let's say 7.0. Surprisingly, there's a large majority of the player base that's in that area. So that's what I want to focus on. My format of my videos, or what I plan on doing, is kind of breaking down every single decision that I make and all the moves that I make and why I'm doing things, and honestly being really raw about it too. I don't want to just throw in, ace matches left and right. I'll have matches here and there where I only get one kill, or maybe I'll die in the match. I want it to be really real, and I want it to be informative and a learning experience for everybody. So that's enough yapping. The plane that I decided to go with for my first video is the Morco Moraine. I love Sweden as a nation in War Thunder, and I love this plane a lot. It's got a lot of things that it does really, really well, and it's also a really great plane to teach about kind of like in energy fighting, especially lower tiers. So I picked the Morco specifically because Gaijin does have a winter sale going on right now, so you can pick this guy up for like a couple bucks. So yeah, it's a really, really awesome plane, and I definitely think it's worth it. So we'll go into the plane here, and then we'll transition right into our first match. So we see, looking at the stat card, max speed of 330 miles an hour. That's pretty accurate for this plane. Anything over about 350 miles an hour, your airframe compresses and you lock up pretty hard. Now, it's not to the degree where you can't really maneuver. You can still pull out of turns and stuff like that, but you'll definitely have issues with rolling and everything like that. So try to keep it, when you're in a dogfight, at least sub 350 miles an hour is what you always want to kind of shoot for. So 18-second turn time is pretty solid, not blisteringly crazy for 2.3, but it's good enough, right? It's better than a lot of like American fighters and any of those really heavy energy fighters like your MiG-3s and your lags and stuff like that. You're definitely going to be able to outturn those guys. So kind of the star of the show is the 3,300 feet per minute climb rate. This is an awesome climb rate for 2.3, and really is what makes the Morco so strong, is because you can start off a lot of these fights from an altitude and from a potential energy advantage. So that's kind of the beauty of this plane and everything like that. I also do have a single centrally located 20 mil cannon just tucked up in the engine there, which is the perfect spot for a cannon. That's exactly where you want it, over the nose. And then two 7.5 millimeter machine guns. They're not great, I'm going to be honest with you. I run tracer belts in them because of the fact that it's just purely, incendiary tracer rounds. I'm kind of just praying that I light somebody on fire with it, and that's kind of it. But other than that, I normally don't have a problem with firepower. If you hit your shots, you'll kill planes pretty quick. But yeah, that's enough talking about the plane. Let's get straight into the match. All right, so here we are in our very first match. It's like 3 in the morning for me, so it took about took about 5 minutes to get into a match, so hopefully it's a good one. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw us into about a, I don't know, 17-18 degree climb, and just kind of let her buck. Let's see where we're at. Sakina's a 3.3, yeah, so we're looking like almost a max up tier here, so we'll see how we can get along. Germany on the other team, Russia on the other team, so luckily we don't have to worry about anything crazy from Russia like the Yak-3s or anything like that. The MiG-3 34, those get to be a little concerning due to the fact that they do get the interceptor spawn, and they start with a decent amount of airspeed. So every once in a while you'll get into a match where they just absolutely climb to the roof. So typically, if I can get myself, wow, look at that guy go. If I can get myself to around 15,000, 16,000 feet, I feel pretty comfortable in that regard. Obviously, Germany on the other team, there's going to be VF-109s, so we know that we're going to have to compete with them. But a lot of 109s, we can actually outclimb a lot of 109s, and typically what they'll do is they'll climb to a rate that they're almost, they'll climb too steep. So you run into that, just because a plane is, 500, 600, maybe 1,000 feet over your head, doesn't necessarily mean that they have the advantage, in the sense that if they're going 100 miles an hour, if they're almost completely stalled on a rope, they're not really a threat because of that. So we'll see who this is. Yeah, so there's the MiG-3s that I was talking about. So we'll see what they do. Hopefully they don't come over for little old me, but that MiG looks like he is on an intercept path. So I'm gonna level out here, pick up as much speed as I possibly can, and see what I can do. So obviously this guy has a lot more, he's gonna have probably a lot more speed than I am, but he's also kind of a brick. So I'm gonna pitch my nose down to pick up as much speed as possible, and then pull up and try to kind of entice him into a complete turn up and over toward me, because that's going to lose him a lot of his energy, which it looks like he did go into that turn. So not really the correct move for him. I'm going pretty slow, so I'm going to pull my flaps in just to get my nose around, and it should be him in the dirt, which it is. So always got to be cautious of that energy, especially at a high altitude, and be aware of what your plane can and can't do. The MiG-3 is certainly not a turn fighter by any stretch of the imagination, so a good move for him there would have been to, if he wanted to pitch up to commit, take the swing, but keep flying directly past me. Him, kind of cranking that turn back up kills all of his speed and puts him in a bad spot. So we do have an I-16 below us. They do have a decent climb rate. A little worried there. Here's another MiG-3. We'll see if we can't do the same maneuver. So I'm going to bait the heads up, give him a little bit of sugar, try to get him convinced to take this fight. Go up and over, see if he turns up. See, he does not. So he didn't fall for the same trick. He continued going. So good on him. He made the right decision. Now, I'll chase a little bit here. I know I'm not going to catch up with him, but just to kind of drive home, let's see if he makes a mistake, like if he attempts to turn too soon or something like that. It's a pretty neutral position for me. Like, I can kind of just sit behind him and I'm not really worried about it. Looks like he's going to engage the P-39. He, like I said, he will outrun me, even in a straight line. So truth be told, if he doesn't want to fight, he doesn't have to fight. But I'll kind of sit on his 6 here just to, just to pressure him. Also, if my P-39 wakes up and sees that he's about to get shot, we could have a 2v1 on our hands. But he was Netflixing while he was flying. He really wasn't paying attention there, so it's okay. This MiG-3 might panic because I am closing on him pretty good, so we'll see if he commits to something. He's probably just going to dive away, would be my assumption, which it looks like he is. I'm still grabbing on him. Now, with the Morco, like I had mentioned previously in the hangar, this thing does lock up pretty bad north of like 250, which we are definitely over 250 miles an hour, so we are going to experience a little bit of lockup here. So he's lining up on my J9. I'm going to see if I can't get some hits here. I was hoping for a 20 mil hit, but I didn't get it. Let's see what he does. If he cranks a turn, that'll actually put us in a pretty good position here. And he's tipping his wings, so he wants to crank the turn. He's baiting me in a little bit closer here, so a little burst off, and we did mess him up pretty good. So this Yak-7 is just kind of hung up in front of me here, so let's see if I can't hit him. There he goes in. There we go. And try to pull up into this MiG. And that's that. Nice. I really do like the cannons on this guy. Yeah, this MG-151 is a really nice gun, so I enjoy using it quite a bit. Looks like 3 left alive. I did see that we did have one Yak-1 that was just absolutely in space, and Hopefully our P-39 can win that fight against the I-16. I'm going to dive here to pick up as much speed as I possibly can because I plan on zoom climbing. Zoom climbing is when you just kind of throw yourself vertical and try to carry as much energy as you can into a climb. Hopefully I can get up here to this yak and take a shot at him. It looks like I might actually be able to. Used all my accuracy up on the first two guys. Wow. Well, he's not gonna survive, that's for sure. That's some pretty oh, severely. Okay, we got it. Cool. Not the best shooting there. I had that kind of slick little 1-2 on that yak and the MiG beforehand, and then yeah, I don't know really what that was, but we hit him enough, right? So P1Y1 is dead, which should leave just the I-16, I believe, but we are out of ammo, so we're gonna go ahead and rearm. So yeah, just kind of looking back on that fight there, though, you know, we started with a good altitude advantage over everybody. Luckily, that first MiG did exactly what I was hoping that he would do, and the second MiG did exactly what he should have done. But you know, with the energy advantage and with us having so much potential energy because of our altitude, the MiG is faster than us in a straight line, but we're still able to go into like kind of a shallow dive and consistently hold enough speed to where we can pressure him. You know, again, we are playing at a pretty low VR. A lot of these guys are, well, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say a lot of these guys, you know, are newer players, but I think it's like a 50-50 mix because you run into a lot of level 100, 90 days played in a fighter people at this BR. So I don't know what that is. There are some really fun planes to play at this BR, but I feel like it's more like baby seal clubbing than anything, but whatever. But that being said, sorry, sidetrack. Luckily, we were able to carry enough speed that we were able to pressure that big enough to where eventually, you know, he's not just going to fly away from us the entire match. Eventually, he's going to take a swing on something, and when he does, we'll be there to chase him. So, but yeah, 4 kills, I'll take that. Our AA is shooting at something. So there must be something in the sky up there. A little too heavy on the brakes. Little modern art masterpiece. I love this cobblestone cockpit that we have. It's pretty slick. I do have plenty of Avengers and Blind Hunt orders and everything like that, but we're ahead on tickets, so honestly it's kind of pointless to use one of those, to burn one of those up, especially with the AA shooting in the air. That kind of is indicating to me that there's probably some sort of bomber or strike plane at like 100 million billion feet in the air. So I'll put us into a shallow climb, that way we're just kind of equipped to, we're in a decent position regardless of, you know, wherever this enemy pops up. And yeah, there's no sense. Oh, never mind. What is my AA shooting at? They're just okay. Okay, all right. Well, whatever, I guess. So the I-16, not crazy fast. Does have decent guns. It is a pretty snappy little plane, so that's the problem. That is a problem for us if we end up getting into like a dogfight. So for example, if this J9, if I was this I-16, I would bait the heads up just like we did with that MiG, crank a turn and try to bait that J9 into a turn fight, which it looks like the I-16 is actually holding the advantage. So a J9 is going to struggle pretty hard. Hopefully we can get over there. We probably won't get over there in time, which is unfortunate. Our F4F seems to be hunting AI units. Yeah, he doesn't look like he's heading over there, so. And it looks like the J9 has took the fight into a 1 circle, which I believe he will most definitely lose against an I-16, so it's only a matter of time. He's got a metaphorical noose around his neck. But the good thing is, with this continued looping turn, the I-16 is going to bleed a lot of his speed. So if the F4F can run over there and get a good line on the I-16, that should be match said and done. And if he can't, I'm coming in with an altitude advantage and energy advantage. You know, the writing is essentially on the wall. So good on the F4F here for not taking the heads up against the I-16 and going vertical. He pulled that maneuver maybe a little bit too early because the I-16 is pretty snappy, but I just hate seeing people just throw themselves into head-ons at this tier. It's so frustrating. A lot of the times they're heading on a vehicle that has way more guns in the front or has a way better turn rate or whatever. So you see there, I put rounds on early. I knew he was going to turn and throw himself directly at me. Why not? You know, so I shot to where his plane is going to be when he's looking at me, not where he is currently. So yeah, pretty solid match. Really, no complaints. Easy ace. Yeah, good first match. I will catch you guys in the second one. Alrighty. Second match up. We got an air spawn. Pretty fancy. I love that they added air spawns into the lower BRs to the props. Just kind of speeds the match up. Doesn't make everything feel like you have to climb for 20 minutes before the match starts. So let's do a little BR check. We're looking pretty good. 27, 23, 27. Blah 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 blah. We're these guys are being silly. These guys are being silly. But whatever. No big deal. Yeah, same thing as last time. What I'm going to do here, what I like to do whenever I'm playing a plane that has a decent climb rate at this lower BR, what I like to do is draw a line off of their runway and off of your runway, right? Pretend it's like a Tron lane. So I took off from right here. If the line runs like this, I don't want to cross that line. So instead of going from here and climbing in this direction, I'm going to cross that line, the intercept line. So I'm going to spawn here and fly kind of toward their airfield. Reason being is because I want to side climb, but I don't want to side climb to the degree where I'm side climbing all the way over here and then all the way over here and then trying to catch all the way up to the battle again. It's just not productive, right? Yeah, I mean, by the time I get into a fight, I'm going to be at 25,000 feet in the air, but I'm also not going to get an ace match because, you know, there's nobody to fight. This little guy, oh no. Oh, I shouldn't do it, man. I shouldn't do it. Oh, I shouldn't do it. It's the little... It's a little 2.0 Russian bomber plane. It's got some of the craziest turrets I've seen on a bomber. It actually is such a crazy looking plane. Oh, I shouldn't do it. I'm gonna do it, I think. I'm gonna swing up for him. I'm gonna see what I can't do. He's got like 4 like 7.62 machine guns. Does he have his bombs out by now? He probably has his bombs out. Okay, I'm gonna zoom climb for him and see what we can't do here. He still has his bombs up. Ah, it's not worth it. Good move. Good maneuver there. Oh. We're not looking super hot here. Okay, so how do we want to do this? Key 27 is pretty scary for us, I'm not gonna lie, especially with the altitude advantage. But I fear that he might be climbing, like I said before. I'm going 234 miles an hour, so I am gonna zoom climb. I've got pretty much one shot at this. If I miss him, I'm gonna be completely stalled, and that'll probably be GG for me. So hopefully I can hit my shots here. Oh. Rudder. Hopefully he gets scared. he's really not getting scared. So I might be able to nose down here. I put myself in a pretty bad spot, but I wanted to push the envelope instead of just giving him the opportunity to just dive on me completely, you know, uncontested. His Japanese planes have an absolutely wicked turn rate, so I'm gonna dive away, hoping that he doesn't want to trade all of his altitude for one kill, which it seems like we've got a little bit of that going on. I'm gonna extend here. I'm faster than him, and I should be able to hold on to energy pretty well. The only problem is I'm extending into more enemies, so it's gonna be kind of tumultuous, regardless, but we'll see what we can do here. Yeah, I'm really not worried about trying to overspeed a key. So the problem I'm gonna have here is I can't turn, right? I'm essentially sandwiched and I cannot turn, so I don't condone the head-ups, but I'm gonna take one here anyways, throw a couple rounds above him, roll around. He's gonna preemptively go up and probably turn back on me as well. He's diving to pick up more speed to try to come after me again. I'm pretty decent in a straight line, so I'm not super worried about it right now. You know, he took a little bit too long on his turn. Eventually I'll be able to create some distance here, create some space. My team's doing a really good job, so maybe this is just going to be kind of an off match for me. While I don't want to run away for the entire match, if I turn around, I will die. So, unless I can get a teammate. So I want to continue to not crank a turn too sharp. If there is just one of them, so it looks like they're both breaking off here. So what I'll do here is, the key must be going back to repair. We did hit him pretty good. Our T2s need some help, so I'll go into a shallow dive, pick up more speed, and I will make my way back. This key is pretty juicy. I can't help but take a dive on him. Just see, I'm gonna shut my engine off because actually I dove pretty steep. It's a pretty terrible angle for a dive, but doesn't matter. The key was pretty drastically wounded, so I'm gonna use all that speed that I have to go back up, but I don't want to stall myself out because this MiG is pretty close to me. So I'm assuming the MiG's not going to be able to help it. He might swing up to me, who knows. He might not have any ammo because he was just shooting at a bunch of bombers. So looks like he is returning back to his airfield, so I'm going to let him go. If he doesn't want to fight, that's fine. I don't really have the distance to try to chase him, nor do I really want to. Enemy airfields at this BR are pretty freaky deaky, so if he wants to go back to his airfield, let him go back to his airfield. The DB, I could get another swing on him again. Now, with him being a bomber, when he takes back off, he's going to be essentially like a free kill, right? He's not really going to be much of a threat to anybody. This P-43, however, is attacking one of my fighters, so I'm going to be the team player. Also, the P-43 is pulling directly into my nose, and I don't think he realized that until much too late, so it's unfortunate. Got to be aware of your surroundings there. This DB is actually like a relatively fast plane for what it is, so I'm just gonna do a little shimmy, give a little sugar here and there, and then eventually I'll do a little zoom climb up to him and throw the rest of my rounds that I have, and we'll see what we can do here. So pretty much directly underneath him, so we'll throw it up and see what we can do. Luckily didn't get set on fire there. I kind of hung around a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I had every intent of throwing every single bullet that I had into him and then RTBing, so as long as I don't die there, it's okay. A lot of their planes, you see one leaving the runway now, one looks like they're just going back to the runway. Yeah, that would be the last two. So passing on to the team. Yeah, start our long trek back to the airfield. So you guys don't need to watch this. Well, actually, we'll do a little bit of recap. So that first swing that I took on the DB, foolish. Reason being, is because of the fact that I had to zoom climb. So I was effectively trashing all of my energy for altitude for a Hail Mary attempt at killing him. The reason why that's foolish is because that's the very first target that I saw. So logically, I need to know that there's going to be many fighters behind him, and there was that Key 27, there's a BF 109, everything like that. So that was foolish. I should have never done that, and I think a lot of people get themselves into a bad position because of that. They see the first red thing and they just throw themselves at it. You gotta we're playing chess, not checkers, right? You got to think ahead. So that was foolish. Luckily, I committed just enough and did just enough damage to that Key 27 that I was able to avoid him, roll around him, and then extend away. You have to identify the problems or the mistakes that you're making early. If I would have decided to haggle with that Key 27 and make a couple turns with him, it would have been game over for me, because those couple turns would have killed so much speed that I wouldn't have been able to extend away in a reasonable amount of time. He would have got on my 6 and he would have killed me. So, and again, all of this just comes from playing the game and learning. So, and that's the intent of the videos, is to be informative and to break down the stuff, every decision made and everything like that, so that newer players can learn. Because this game, like, no BS, you could play this game for 5,000 hours and still be learning new things. There's naval battles, there's air battles, there's ground battles. I'm going to focus almost entirely on air, but you know, you have all these crazy concepts at different battle ratings. You know, you have climb rates, you have turn speed, you have, you know, flaps and pitch and roll and yaw and propeller pitch, and I could go on for forever about it. So there's an intense amount of learning that goes into the game. So yeah, that was essentially my intent of making videos and everything like that, is just to kind of break it down. And I make mistakes and I make bad decisions too, but I just want to be able to kind of like reflect on that and then, you know, share it to you guys and teach and pass it on. I hope I don't flip, because if I flip, I might die. Nice. All the cool guys do belly landings. Landing gears for chumps. This F4F is a chump. It sounds like a lawnmower. Like an actual lawnmower. But anyway, sorry, not to get too sidetracked here, we're gonna take off right away. But yeah, so that move on that DB, foolish. I should have died. Truly, I really should have died. That Key 27, he probably could have killed me. He got a little nervous at shooting at me from over 2,500 feet away. But honestly, if he would have held the trigger down, and even just a couple of hits at this BR can be so detrimental to the flight performance of your plane that it can completely swing the battle. So I should have been dead there. That BF 109, if he would have started his turn a little bit sooner, he probably would have dropped in behind me to a comfortable distance where he could have killed me. Luckily enough, again, I extended away. Now, I don't want to run the entire match. To be honest, I was getting pretty close to the point of just saying screw it and turning around. Luckily, they both broke off. But, I mean, that was my only move. So, that's what I did. And, yeah, we did get a couple of lucky kills there. What was it? That P-43, I think it was. Yeah, he pulled up right in front of our nose. Luckily, we were able to get the DB without getting lit on fire or anything like that. Yeah, and there's a little bit of luck involved in every single match too. Try to make the most logical decision possible, but there's always a little bit of luck. This MiG-23 looks like he's turning, which he's gonna die eventually here. The A-36 has got like 1,000,000 guns on it. Yeah, figured. So 3 kills. I'm not upset with that. That's a decent match. So yeah, I will see you guys in the air on the next one. Probably be the last one for this video. So, but I will catch you guys in just a sec. Alrighty, and we're into our 3rd match. VR is looking pretty good. Yeah, that's funny. We got almost like a perfect mix of BR brackets there. First match was an up tier, second match was a down tier, and third match we're playing at our tiers. So we'll see how it goes. Ironically enough, so far the best match has been the ace in the up tier. Ironically enough, but So yeah, what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna try to stay, like I mentioned in the match before, I'm gonna try to stay right outside that kind of intersecting line. This one's weird because our airfield is pitched all the way over this way anyways, so like for them to intersect, it's just not even really likely. But naturally, most people are gonna follow their direct line off their runway, so they'll be kind of heading straight toward us. So as long as I stay on the outside of that line, it should put me in a pretty good spot. So we are going up against France, Russia, Germany, Japan, and whatever that country is. I need to learn all the subtrees yet. I haven't. Obviously, Japan, we're going to look at T-23s, stuff like that. Germany, BF-109, Fokker Wolves. Russia, MiG-3s. France, maybe like MBs, or what is that, like the D-371. It's like a biplane that has a cannon on it, maybe 2 cannons. I don't know. I got it out of like a gambling thing, which, by the way, don't ever buy the loot crates. Don't ever, I don't know what it is right now, Christmas trees or cupcakes or whatever, don't do it. Gambling is bad, unless it's blackjack. But other than that, don't ever gamble outside of blackjack. Blackjack is okay, but I don't condone it. Yeah, disregard all that. Never mind. Yeah, no, if you're still here, I don't know how deep into the video this is going to be because I have to kind of chop it up and splice it. I've never edited a video before, so please show me a little bit of grace here. Like I said, I decided to do this thing I've never done before, to make content, just to try to be informative, try to help people out and everything like that. So please don't crucify me. If you have made it this far into the video, thank you so much for sticking around. Please, let me know in the comments any recommendations for content side of things, vehicles that you'd like to learn, different informative stuff. If this kind of picks up and any momentum or anything like that, I do plan on doing like a fighter flight school. I think that would be kind of cool. Just like a really super informative thing, probably with like some staged 1v1s just to show like popular planes and planes that they typically fly against at their bracket, because that's the biggest thing, right? And that's the learning curve to this game, is that you can learn your plane, but it's not always your plane. Like, I can learn exactly how this Morocco Marine flies and what it's good at, but I need to know how the LA-5 flies. I need to know how the F-6F flies. I need to know how the MiG-3 flies, the BF-109 flies, so that I know what to do against them. I know what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are, so that I can exploit that. So that's where the real learning curve, when you have to transcend that knowledge. And the thing is that every single time you move a BR bracket, like every single time, you go from 2.0 to 3.0 to 4.0, it's new sets of planes. You're in a new plane. The enemies are in new planes. That's why it gets crazy, and that's why I feel like there's so much information that you can pick up, So here's a perfect example of why I like to do a little bit of a side climb, is because all of this huge ball, remember, if we would have taken off and headed straight toward their airfield, that's right there, we would have been in that huge fur ball. Now, we probably would have been a good 2,000 or 3,000 feet above everybody, but you're going to have people pitch up toward you and everything like that. And the problem is, people pitching up to you and burning all their energy, that's exactly what you want to set up an energy trap. But you can't really effectively do an energy trap when there's 9 other planes down there. You'll dive down and somebody will land a shot on you and you'll get lit on fire, and then you'll get mad and you'll punch your desk, and we've all been there. So that's why I like being up here off to the side a lot more. And with that being said, it's always good to be really disciplined, and I could turn in and I can get in there, and honestly I kind of wish I was over there, but I'm gonna be disciplined, and I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna hunt my targets one at a time, top down. BF-109, he's a big boy target. A Yak 7, he's a big boy target. Even that MiG, the MiGs have speed, so as long as you can make a MiG slow down, then you're good. This BF-109 looks like he's just gonna pull away from me, so I would assume what he's gonna do is he's gonna fly away from me, and then he's just gonna roll over and just dive straight to the ground. So That sucks because that's gonna waste a lot of our time if he does that. But I might, honestly, what I might do is I might dive here to give him the altitude advantage, which might lull him into like a false sense of like he has the better position, which is just not true because I have so much energy. If he climbs up to try to avoid me, he's gonna be in a very, very bad way. Which I might be able to just snap up and take a shot here. We'll see. Yeah, that's what I expected was the roll. So we can keep up with him in this roll. I'm really not super worried about it. What I'm worried about is kind of the over speeding aspect of it. So he's gonna dive away. Honestly, I don't need to chase him. Like, I really truly don't. He's just kind of working his way back over toward his airfield, and if he's gonna fully commit to that dive, let him. Now the MiG-23 here is doing a goofy silly, a really goofy silly, because he's about to completely stall out. So if I throw my flaps up, which I have nice, really strong flaps, you can see we cranked completely in, and then we can bury him. Okay, never mind. We're flying against Maverick from Top Gun. What was that crazy maneuver? Okay, so kind of a little bit of a reset here. The BF-109 probably doesn't have a super huge amount of energy, so I'll bait the heads up here and kind of just preemptively turn in. Might have turned in a little bit too early, but we'll see. Now I'm looking for the MiG. Remember, he was just completely stalled out, so he's pitching up toward me right now, so I'm not going to follow that BF-109, but I know this MiG does not have that much energy. You know, I know that he's not in a great way here. So honestly, what I'll do, I probably shouldn't have taken this laterally, but whatever, we're in it, so we're gonna go with it. I want the BF-109. The MiG is the least of my concerns. So, but if this MiG's gonna give me a shot, I'm gonna take it. So I'm gonna dive down here to pick up more speed again, and I'm gonna kind of preemptively give a little wiggle here and try to roll up and over as soon as I possibly can. The BF-109 is gonna stick with me on it. I have to roll here to get away from his nose, but I'm not really afraid of a vertical scissor with a BF-109. I really truly am not. I can pull my flaps in. That should give me quite a bit of nose authority here. Whoa, just barely get some hits in, but if we have the energy for it, which we do, we're going 200 and some miles an hour, we can keep up with it. We can keep following. I got to get my nose ahead of him here, which I should be able to right now. Not quite. That's okay. We're going slower again here, so I'll pull the flaps in. He's going to try to burn and run away, which he's doing a good job of with his roll rate and everything here. We're going to lock up because we're going pretty fast, so we have to kind of preemptively aim. Running back to his airfield is his goal. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a roll here just to kill some speed, just so I'm not so locked up in my turns. There we go. Kind of started to hold the trigger down there a little bit more than I wanted to because of the fact that he was getting so close to his airfield there. So yeah, not a crazy match. My team, excuse me, did a really good job. What's kind of a fun little 2v1 there, though. I did enjoy it. I hope I narrated that pretty well, my decisions and everything. So made a couple mistakes with some different energy movements and everything like that, but luckily so did my adversaries there, so I was able to come up on top. So I think that'll probably take us right into the end of the video here. So yeah, once again, oh, excuse me, let me just grab my mosquito really quick. It's a good plane, you know. That'll take us into the end here. So once again, if you are still here, thank you so much for hanging around. Any sort of interaction, whether it be likes, comments, you know, whatever, is super appreciated. Good or bad, I'm open to anything. You know, this is my first video. I am willing to grow. I'm willing to learn, everything like that. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions about the plane, if you have any recommendations about other planes to play in the future, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to take a look at those. I've spent a pretty disgusting amount of money on this game. So I have quite a few premiums, and I have most air tech trees to about at least rank 6. So I can probably probably play the plane that you recommend. So once again, thank you guys so much for sticking around, for being here. And I hope to see you in the next one. Peace, peace.